has deployed a disaster assistance response team, or a DART as we call it, to Mexico in response to urgent humanitarian needs, as the death toll from the magnitude 7.1 earthquake has risen over 200. This morning, over 60 members and 5 canines from the Los Angeles County Fire Department Urban Search and Rescue Team landed in Mexico City as part of our disaster assistance response team. These teams arrived with over 62,000 pounds of specialized tools and medical equipment to conduct around-the-clock search and rescue operations. They will be working closely with Mexican disaster authorities to help rescue earthquake survivors and assess structures for earthquake damage. USAID has also deployed disaster experts across the Caribbean, as you know, as yet another hurricane moves through the region. And of course, we extend our condolences to the people in the Caribbean. As we help our neighbors in Mexico and the Caribbean, I want to make clear that America is and will remain the world's leading humanitarian donor. Whether it's responding to an earthquake, drought, or conflict, America is committed to standing shoulder to shoulder with people in their hour of need. It is who we are as Americans. While we respond to immediate crises, America is also providing life-saving humanitarian assistance to those suffering as the result of famine, food insecurity, drought, and conflict, all of which is driving the greatest movement of people since World War II. In the face of this unprecedented need, we are continuing to show leadership. Today I am announcing more than $550 million in additional humanitarian assistance from the United States to the millions of people affected by food insecurity and violence in Yemen, South Sudan, Nigeria, and Somalia, the so-called 4 famines. This funding will provide life-saving food and health care for vulnerable groups that have been affected by these crises. And this funding brings our total contribution of humanitarian assistance to over $2.4 billion for these 4 crises since the beginning of this fiscal year. As the President said earlier this week, America is wholeheartedly committed to humanitarian assistance. This week alone, the United States has announced almost $1 billion in additional humanitarian aid. But humanitarian assistance, we all know, alone will not solve these crises. We need long-term political solutions that address the drivers of conflict and insecurity. Those 4 famines or near famines that I referred to, we have to remind ourselves they're entirely man-made. Off to the malaria.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.